Yeah, the very first question to Ashim, why Arjun? I hope you take it on a positive note.
Actually, because you had to only remove the J from it and then I become Arun.
Much easier. Actually, no, Arjun and I worked on this film together, so it wasn't like a typical actor-director relationship, where I went with a screenplay to him and said, like, let's do this film together. In fact, we just shot an ad together. I was directing an ad, he was in it, and we hit it off, we started chatting, and he had a project that he was already doing on Arun Gauli, which had already started. He had been hired as an actor there. There was a producer, another director. And the way that was going was it was becoming a more typical Bollywood gangster movie. It was not very realistic or whatever. But the story was on Arun Gauli's life. It was going to be an authorized biography. So he just felt that maybe I was a more suited director for this film. And I was not that keen to do a Bollywood movie. That's not really my space, So when we talked, he said, would you be open to doing something which is very different? And if I could protect it and you could make it happen the way you want to make it, would you do it? So I said, that sounds really good. If that's the case, then yeah, let's make it.
Arjun, if you can throw some more light on this, as you said, you were already there in some Arun Gauli film.
No, it wasn't I was already part of anything. I told them that I wanted to read the script. I wanted to understand it. And it was just that I didn't think that was the script I wanted to be a part of. But in that process, what happened was that I got kind of intrigued as to why somebody would want me to play Arun Gauli, and I thought, let me try and see who this guy really is. I didn't know much about Arun Gauli. Like a lot of people in Maharashtra I know of him, but like everybody in Maharashtra knows of him. But like if you go to the north or you go to the south, people really don't have, and there's not much information about him even written. So I kind of started researching on my own about this guy. And I found him very intriguing, so I kind of locked myself in a hotel room for 2 months and I started writing, and once I finished that, I sent that to Ashim and I said, this is kind of the vibe of what you want to do. He said, it's fun, it sounds good, let's explore it. I spoke to the other people then and I said, if we can do it in a realistic manner, which is not too like this is a genre-based film, when you say a gangster film, especially in India, it happens in one way only. And I said, but we'll have to do it in a very different way. And that's why Ashim and me also wanted to do it together. And Ashim said, listen, we'll have to work on the structure of the film a bit more, and then we started collaborating on that. And this process was going on, and in that process, we found out that the guys didn't have the rights. And they said that these are two mad people who have gotten together to go and make something. So they kind of left, and we were left with, because by the time we'd already spoken to DOPs, we'd spoken to a crew, we'd spoken to people, and suddenly all these people were there, and we had a script, and we didn't have a producer. So I said, you know what, give me 2 months, let me see if I want to really produce this film. And that's what I did. In 2 months I got everything together, lined it up, and then went and met the family and started discussing about the rights, which took a different process altogether to get them. And to win the trust of Arun Gauli, to give it to us to make. And that was the journey, but in that process we kept working on what we wanted to make, and meeting people from Dagri Chol, meeting the family, meeting people from his rival gangs, so that there are different point of views, because we wanted to make the film, Ashim also wanted to make the film through in a way where it is different people's point of views. So then you have a good point of view, and then you have not such a good point of view, then you have a really bad point of view, then you have a vengeance point of view, So you have so many different layers that start happening. So all the incidents that happened in his life, how we put it through different people's point of views, and those people become fictitious in the film. They're the only people who are not real, okay? And from those point of views, you kind of discover or try to make an opinion about who Arun Gauli is, because we didn't make an opinion about him too. To go and tell Arun Gauli that, listen, we don't want to make a film which is just about a Robin Hood. It's not just about being daddy to Dagri Chol, or a godfather figure to everybody, or a Dayavan, or somebody like that. We want to know what happened. We want to know how did you become Arjun? You know, what was it? You know, what happened with BRA gang? What happened with Maqsood? What happened with, you know, the interactions with all these people who you were in touch with? You know, why did you make Dagdi Chaul into your fortress? You know, all of that. So, to win his trust and for him to give his green light and say, you know what, make the movie, tell them the truth, and this is what it is, was very exciting.
ओके अशिम, फिल्म को जिस तरह का रिस्पॉन्स मिला है अब तक, जितना भी फिल्म को लेकर बाहर है, टीजर हो ट्रेलर हो, बहुत 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 तारीफ हुई है कमर्शियली, यू नो क्रिटिक ने भी तारीफ की है फिल्म की, और उसके बाद डेट का कहीं डिले हो जाना वो कहीं आपको अखरता है, बुरा लगता है कि क्यूरियोसिटी इज राउंड द फिल्म, एवरीवन इज वेटिंग द फिल्म टू बी देयर इन द स्क्रीन एंड इट्स ऑन अ वेरी पॉजिटिव नोट, everyone is loving the teaser trailer, the way, you know, his look is in the film, everything is so appreciated.
I mean, it was something that actually, you know, was a request from the Gauli family. They wanted to push it, you know, for Arun Gauli. Ganpati is very auspicious. There's a possibility he's going to come out on parole. Finally, it's a very big film for him as well. It's his life story. It's never been made. And I think it's a request from them. I think that's the least we can do when this man has given us so much trust to make a film where we are not making him a hero and he's still okay with it. So I think that's the least we can do in terms of being responsible. I don't think it's a negative thing at all for me. Yeah.
Arjun, what was the most challenging part while working on film Dadding, you know?
There's no one challenging part. The whole film was like a challenge, and that's what's exciting about it. You know, if the film is not challenging, then why do it? I mean, if it was to get the script right, to get the story right, the challenge of what all to delete. There's so much, you know, in 50 years to put it all in there and pack it in 2 hours, 7 minutes. Okay, is very difficult. You know, what all to let go of. So that's the first part. To actually go and find the people and pull them out who will give you those stories. So the research. To get researchers on board who came with like clippings and this, that and the other, you know, and it just, there's so much information, you know, and then to filter out all that information initially and then to put it all together, then to put the right teams in place, you know. So Ashim wanted a DOP who was a female, okay, not because he wanted a female DOP, but he liked her work, okay. Her name was Jessica Gangley, okay, from Canada, younger, 25 or 27 years old, but really, really good body of work. So he showed me that, you know, he wanted to work with an international DOP for the simple reason where he said, because the way they see India is also very, very different. To bring that person down, you know, to get them acclimatized to our way of working and to shoot it for what it is, you know, in a realistic manner. You know, to create the Dagdi Chaul becomes a challenge. To age it over 40 years becomes a challenge. The costumes, the detailing, the hair, the makeup, the thing, all of that is a challenge. You know, so as a producer, you have many challenges. As an actor, you have many challenges because through this process, you're also getting more and more into it, and to get that look right, and you know, to sit through 5 hours of makeup every day, and then get onto the set, and so yeah, I think every part of this film has been a challenge. To go to locations, you know, to go to a place where Arun Gauli, like if you, his area is Agripada, and उधर एक road है, उसको आप क्रॉस करते हो आप नागपाड़ा में, वो उनका राइवल जगह, उन्होंने वो मुझे वहाँ ले गए शूटिंग करने के लिए, नागपाड़ा में, बिल्कुल दुश्मन की जगह, दुश्मन के इलाके में, मैं अरुण गावली बन के जा रहा हूँ नागपाड़ा के अंदर. So all of that, I think, you know, the tension, हो जाएगा आज नहीं होगा. फिर हमने 3 स्केड्यूल में भी फिल्म को तोड़ा है, 3 या 4 स्केड्यूल में, जहाँ पर ऑल द सीजन्स वी वांटेड, क्योंकि ऐसा नहीं कि 40 साल की फिल्म या 50 साल की जो द होल पीरियड है उसमें सिर्फ आप गर्मी में ही शूट कर रहे हो. तो वी हैड द रेन्स, फिर मानसून्स के चैलेंज, लॉट्स ऑफ चैलेंजेस इन द फिल्म.
ओके अर्जुन, जिस तरह से आप डायरेक्ट डिलीवरी कर रहे हैं बहुत रियल स्पेस में लगता है, और लगता है कि यहाँ कोई, यू नो, एक महाराष्ट्र अगर कोई बोलेगा ना, आई एम नॉट टॉकिंग अबाउट अरुण गावली स्पेसिफिकली, बहुत बहुत ऐसे ही कहेगा और ऐसे ही बात करेगा ना, जिस तरह से आप लुक देते हैं. उस पर कितना काम किया, क्या कोई ट्विटर वगैरह आया था कि ये लहजा, अशिम Have you appointed some tutor?
I had a tutor who came. उन्होंने मराठी में I used to read. मगर मैं भी जब मैं तो देवलाली का हूँ, तो I know मराठी, मैं समझ सकता हूँ. बोलने में दिक्कत होती है, तो वो उन लोगों ने अपनी ज़ुबान पे डाली. बट मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंटली जब आप लोगों से मिलते हो ना उस एरिया की, और जिस तरीके से वो बात करते हैं, और फिर जब मैं अरुण गावली से मिला, तो फिर वहाँ पर एक्चुअली मुझे पता चला कि मैं किस तरीके से बात करूँगा, क्योंकि वो एक मौका मिला था, यानी कि 2-3 बार जो मैं मिला हूँ, दोज गोल्डन मोमेंट्स कि वो किस तरीके से बात करते हैं. वो बहुत ही सॉफ्ट स्पोकन है, उनमें बहुत तहजीब है, वो बहुत शांति से बात करते हैं. उनका कोई चिल्लाना चीखना कुछ नहीं है, मगर आवाज़ में एक भारीपन भी है और एक ठहराव है, तो उनकी पर्सनालिटी में एक ठहराव है, तो वो आई थिंक आई हैड टू कैच.
Okay, Ashim, though the film, the reason the film is about Arun Gavli, are we showing the love interest of Arun Gavli in the film, and who will be playing love interest of Arjun in the film?
I mean, she's the thing is that Asha Gowli is a very big part of Arun Gowli's life, right? And I mean, she's basically his pillar of strength. She's the woman who's been able to actually keep it all together while he was in jail and stuff like that. So she's a very critical character, and her history is very interesting, which you'll see in the film. In terms of what you expect is not who she is. So it's very interesting like that. And I was very clear because of the space of the film that we wanted to do that I didn't really want it. It wasn't Arjun Rampal being this amazing, sexy hunk guy, and we didn't need this like really fair actress to do this whole number, and suddenly it's in another space. That also applies to your question about dialogue delivery. I didn't want that dialogue bazi, the punchlines, and I think we wanted to stay away from all those cliches so that you actually feel like you're with these characters. So the girl we found actually was an amazing actress from the South called Aishwarya Rajesh. Rajesh.
Ramesh.
Arjun.
Yeah?
Aishwarya Rajesh.
Okay.
But amazing actress, and really like off the map. You don't expect her to play. I mean, it was quite funny. We called and I was like, I really like your work. We want you to play Asha Gowli. Arjun Rampal is playing Arun Gowli. Can you come to Bombay tomorrow? And she's like, what are you talking about? She thought it was a joke, So actually, the funny thing is that we found her in the most unexpected place, but she plays a perfect Asha Gowli. There's no one who's closer. In fact, Asha Gowli herself thought she looked exactly like her when she was younger. So, so there is love but it's not done in a typical fashion. It's not like suddenly here comes a song and here's Arun Gowli's romantic, walk in the garden. We're not doing that.
Okay, Ashim, Arjun is one of the fantastic actor in the industry. Do you agree with this? कि अभी भी बहुत कुछ निकलना बाकी है अर्जुन की तरफ से in terms of performance, in terms of acting, जो निकला नहीं है.
Yeah, I think so. I think that actually for me, I think he's extremely under-directed. People have not directed him. I mean, I'm sorry to say, but I don't see it, I just feel like to actually maximize someone's potential, you have to really know what they can offer and you have to be able to push them. And to push someone, you have to stop with the G thing. You have to be able to push him. He has to be able to fight with you. If it's going to be always giving to the actor or to the star, no one's going to ever direct them.
Arjun, what's your take on Ashim's score?
No, I agree. I have to fight with everybody. No, I think, the most important thing in anything that you do, especially in this field, is the relationship that you have with your director. An actor-director relationship is like a marriage that happens, You have to be on the same page. A director has a rhythm. Every good director, which I've worked with, and every time you've thought about my performance has been good in any film, is because I've got a rhythm of a director. If it is a Farah Khan's rhythm, or if it is a Abhishek Kapoor's rhythm, or Ashim's rhythm. Ashim has a rhythm. I caught his rhythm. It was very important for me to catch it. Because once I catch it, being the key actor of the film's other actors who come around also get onto that same rhythm. So, and once you catch a rhythm of a film, whatever the director is trying to say, whatever he has set up for you from in terms of a room or a setting or with the environment that you're going to be performing in, that environment has a rhythm. Everything has got, the camera movement has a rhythm. How you say your dialogues has a rhythm. So suddenly you find something new. And I think that's what's a key thing. So we don't spend enough time while preparing for a film. That's
okay,
that's what I feel.
What you're doing just right now for Daddy, you've never done it before, you know. This is
I think it's never been done before,
Yes.
period. No one has done it. You know, no one has made a true story on a living gangster or even somebody who's gone away. You know, I mean, no one has done it. It's never been done. It was the first time that somebody was actually going out there and doing it in a real manner. And that's what was exciting about doing it. And to do it with a person who's a purist at heart. He's not going to compromise. He's going to fight with me and say, "No, I can't do this." You know, and no, you cannot be jumping off a roof, and you cannot, even if you want to say something right now, don't say it. You know, just hold back. You know, so it's a conviction of everybody, teamwork. You know, that makes that happen. So yes, I've never done it. I don't think anybody's done it, and that's what makes it new. That's what makes it unique. And so when it comes out there, you say, fine, it's got a great aesthetic sense. But ये अपनी कहानी है. We've got wonderful stories to say from India, and that's why I wanted to choose the subject. And otherwise, you end up making a remake of something, or you are copying a film, or you know, or you've got scenes from a film which you know, okay, fine, ये इधर से उठाया होगा, ये इधर से डाला होगा, yeah, all that happening. But here we've kept everything very, very pure and real, and how it is, and it's a different world, and you go into that world. And you explore it, and he was allowing us to do it, not just me, every actor, even for an Aishwarya, or for even a Babu and a Rama, or a Maqsood, or for everybody, whoever you see in this film, or even a Nishikant, you know, who plays the cop, people don't recognize him. People don't recognize me. Arey Arjun hai? Acha, that's great. That's wonderful. That's when you know you're doing something new.
Okay, do you try to break your image?
I never look at it myself as an image. I've never had an image. I've never tried to create it. My image has been created by media or by people. You know, it's not who I am. So I don't have anything to break. Yes, what's being broken is people's image, what they've created about me. I don't have that image. You know what I mean? I don't look at myself as somebody who has an image. When he told me, boss, we need to shoot in, say, the police headquarters. I've gone there, I've sat there on the sofa out there with my EP, with everybody. Normally, लोग आते हैं तस्वीर लेते हैं, अच्छी बात है, you know, on that level. मगर मैंने नहीं सोचा कि यार मैं नहीं जाऊँगा, मैं स्टार हूँ, मैं इस तरीके का इंसान हूँ. For the film, if I have to do whatever I have to do, I'll do it.
The best compliment, Ashim, for the teaser, the trailer, from the industry.
I think the compliment to me is just the fact the reaction and the number of people that have been open to it, you know, because I had the impression
he was very scared. Honestly, he was very scared. He said, "I don't know, yaar. People are going to get it. They're not going to get it." You know, he was scared because he's kind of protected himself so much from making a typical film, you know, or doing that. He's very scared of these things. You know, he gets very paranoid about these things. So he was very scared कि मैंने सही बोला, मैं भी डर गया था यार, क्योंकि जब आप कुछ नया करते हो then you get scared, you know, and that's a natural reaction. But then when you see a reaction that comes to your work, it gives you a little bit of confidence. But still it's early. We still have the whole film to go. अभी तो picture जैसे बोले ना, picture अभी बाकी है मेरे दोस्त.
Okay, हर फिल्म का चलना बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट होता है और उसमें हम सबको नजर आता है, स्पेशली द मीडिया पीपल, यू नो, कि बहुत मेहनत करी गई है फ्रॉम योर एंड. इस फिल्म को पुरस्कार मिले वो इम्पोर्टेंट है, कमर्शियली कामयाब हो वो इम्पोर्टेंट है. व्हाट इज मोर इम्पोर्टेंट फॉर द फिल्म? दो वी ऑल अंडरस्टैंड, स्पेशली टॉकिंग द मीडिया फर्टेनिटी, यू नो, वी ऑल नो दैट इज so much hard work.
I think सबसे important चीज़ है इज्जत. You know, it should get its respect for what it has done. And of course, ये पिक्चर हमने बनाई है keeping Arun Gowdy in mind completely. So that's for his people, you know, also, you know, and for people to know about Arun Gowdy. So if that happens, and if he's not just a known person from Maharashtra, but he becomes a universal name, you know, and people look at this film and say, yes, this is the one film which is in this genre, you know, that is really true and as complete as a film, then yeah, I think that would be very important.
See, I think as a filmmaker, I don't think about the responses. I really can't. Because at some point, once you start second guessing, the audience is going to think, you start censoring what you're feeling. You lose track of your intuition. So somewhere when I was making the film, I made it in a way that's just most pure to what it should be. And that's why I think when you're asking me about the trailer reaction, I was really pleasantly surprised that actually people, the audiences that have never seen anything like it, actually are so open to something. And I think the genuineness of the film comes through, So that's a nice thing.
Okay, the last one, what message do you want to give the audience why they come and be a part of Daddy?
I mean, I don't know. I don't think of films as needing to give messages. I just think that they should come to see it because it's about an incredible life. Rarely do you see a human life over 40, 50 years that has gone through so much wildness and intensity. It's just incredible. So just for that reason alone, just out of connection from one human to another, to know what human beings can go through in their lives, I think that's good enough. I wouldn't want to necessarily moralize something. It's not my space to do that.
I think people should come watch it because it's one of a kind, okay, and it's very unique. I was pleasantly surprised doing so many films. I'm also doing this now, So I think that surprise element is something which anybody who loves movies and likes to watch films and likes to participate in films will really get a lot out of this one.
The last one, which is your favorite gangster film from Bollywood?
From Bollywood, Daddy.
Good answer.